Hello, my beautiful souls and fellow warriors. I'm Chico, and welcome back to the Diary of a Fibro Warrior. Whether you are a long-time listener or new to our community, I am happy to be connected with you. I hope you're keeping warm and bundled up in layers, especially if you're in a wintry country like mine. It's unbelievable how quickly the months have flown by, and we're nearly at the end of the year. Can you believe that? This morning, I woke up to the sounds of the sea having its own stormy, windy party. I was tempted to stay in bed as all I could imagine was how freezing cold and dark it must be outside. I won't lie to you. I was also tempted to go for a walk, but then I hesitated at the thought of having the weather impact my body. I thought about how the freezing cold weather would pierce through my body and potentially cause cognitive fatigue and weakness. I was just thinking of all sorts. I convinced myself to stay tucked up in bed for most of the day. But now we've moved beyond that point. So when I say we, it's the royal we. Since then, I've created this blog post, made a hot drink, and opened my curtains only to be welcomed by a sunny morning despite the ongoing wind. Reflecting on my morning's actions, I'm reminded of how the mind can be a powerful controlling and potentially limiting factor, especially during the winter months. As I open my curtains, I realize that every small step can contribute to a positive impact and help the mind push beyond feelings of I can't or I won't. It leads us away from the darkness and towards lightness. I'll be honest with you. Small actions like opening the curtains, making a hot drink, and seeing the sunny weather have lifted my mood just this morning. They've enabled me to push the podcast record button and to connect with you today. And for that, especially, I'm very grateful. Let's see what the rest of the day will bring. And part of that, I am hoping that the outcome will be, as it's sunny, I'll go for a walk or I'll do some level of physical activity, and I'm committing to that today. What will the day bring for you? The lesson of today is this: if you can't make a huge step or a huge impact, don't feel defeated. Every small step still counts and does add to making some difference. Moving on nicely, today we're diving into a topic that resonates deeply with many of us: navigating the wintry blues while living with fibromyalgia and other chronic illness-related conditions. With the days growing shorter and the air turning colder, winter months brings its own set of challenges for Fibro Warriors like us. The cold can heighten pain, the dark days can weigh heavily on our emotions, and the festive season can add a layer of pressure that feels almost impossible to manage. But just remember this: you're not alone in this. Together, we'll explore ways to navigate the struggles with compassion, with practical tips and a touch of inspiration. For many of us, winter is an unimaginable sensory storm and can feel like an uphill battle. The combination of symptoms like brain fog, chronic fatigue, insomnia, and the emotional toll of seasonal affective disorder can even make small steps feel monumental. Then there's the festive season, whether it be the upcoming Christmas or New Year's festivities. Something that's supposed to bring joy can easily cause stress, trigger flare-up symptoms, feelings of sadness and guilt. For example, from financial pressures to personal responsibilities, it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough. Maybe you feel guilt for skipping a holiday gathering, for not being able to participate in outdoors activities as often as you would like, or for not being able to buy gifts, or for needing rest more than usual. If you're nodding along, know that you're not alone. The pressure to show up during the holidays often collides with the realities of living with a chronic illness. Let me remind you, it's okay to put yourself first. One of my favorite quotes is, "You don't have to carry everything." Sometimes letting go is the greatest strength. I often remind myself that I can only do what I can, and I often let go of guilt. As I've adjusted to living with fibromyalgia, I've realized that I have certain abilities and capabilities, and I'll put some things which I can't to the side for another day. So if you're struggling to keep up with expectations, whether they're from others or from yourself, know that it's okay to take a step back. Prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It's necessary. It's a necessity. It's survival. Then going on to practical tips for managing symptoms naturally. Let's talk about ways to make winter a little bit more manageable. And hopefully some of this resonates with you. And if you have some other additional examples, feel free to share, as it could potentially help other warriors too. Here are some strategies that have helped me, which might help you too. Starting off with nourishing your body. Focus on anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, fruit, lean proteins, turmeric and ginger, other herbs that you are able to digest without any difficulties. They're not only delicious, but can also help reduce inflammation and boost your immune system. Don't underestimate the power of vitamin D. Since we get less sunlight in winter, consider adding vitamin D foods or supplements to your diets. And yes, festive treats are tempting, and it's totally okay in moderation. I'm always thinking of being mindful. Being mindful of how certain foods like sugar, caffeine, gluten, or alcohol might affect your symptoms and your body can help minimize potential flare-ups of numerous symptoms. There's some things for me, some food items or drinks, which are definite no-go, such as gluten and fatty, oily foods can exacerbate symptoms, or sugary foods are just quick triggers. And I often remind myself of what is the worst that will happen, and do I want to go through this experience? Do I want to ruin the rest of the upcoming day and days? Or what am I willing to risk before I consume some things? Then moving on to gentle movement. Staying active can feel daunting, but every gentle movement can make a big difference. So it's about choosing what is gentle for you. For example, yoga, Pilates, stretching, or short walks are great options. It's about choosing what helps you. If you're sensitive to the cold, indoor activities might be more appealing. And on days when you feel up to it, a warm bath or heated pool can help work towards relieving muscle tension and easing the minds of stressful factors during the festive period. Then moving on to creating a comfort zone. Keeping cozy essentials like an electric blanket, heating pads, or fluffy socks nearby. And I always have an essential box as well of all the things that I want to be able to easily grab. Especially on days when I'm not feeling my ultimate best, I just have something there which is easily accessible. It makes a huge difference to just have it nearby. The little things can make a big difference on colder days. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, like journaling, doing something like this podcast, creative writing, painting, or listening to audiobooks. These distractions can help shift your focus away from pain or fatigue or other numerous symptoms that come with living with fibromyalgia. As I mentioned before, I love keeping like a goodie box nearby. So if you have something like that filled with everything that you need on tough days, like snacks, a favorite book, or comforting aromatherapy oils, it can make a huge difference and be helpful. In managing seasonal affective disorder, if the darker days are getting you down, a light therapy box can stimulate sunlight and lift up your mood. Opening the curtains can make a huge difference, like I did today. And things that I've mentioned before, such as a gratitude journal and other creative things, tapping into those can help. And then just considering 3 things that you're grateful for each day. It can be just as simple as some of the things that I did this morning, such as making a hot cup of tea or opening up the curtains, or it might be for you thinking of kind words or anything that resonates with you to think about what you're grateful for. Connecting with friends and family, that can be something that you're grateful for. And don't forget the healing power of peace, quiet moments, whether through meditation, listening to calming music, or simply sitting in stillness can do wonders for your mental health. Then let's move on to rest and self-compassion. Some days, rest is the best thing you can do. Honor your body and your mind. Honor your body's need for recovery and let go of any guilt. Remember this, the weight of guilt does not serve your healing. Let it go and be gentle with yourselves. Now, checking in and looking ahead, as we approach the festive season, I want to take a moment to remind you that this time of year doesn't have to look a certain way. Whether you're celebrating with family, friends, or spending it alone, or simply focusing on rest, your experience is valid. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's experience. I want to share something exciting with you. In the new year, I'm looking to collaborate more with fellow warriors like yourself to share stories, insight, and strategies for living with fibromyalgia. If you have a story to share, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Then closing off, gratitude and call to action. Before I wrap up, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you. And to my new listeners, welcome to this beautiful community. And to those who have supported me by sharing, commenting, or connecting in other ways, including liking my content, it has meant the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share with others who may resonate, who might find it helpful. And I'd love to hear from you. How do you cope during the winter months? Do you have tips, routines, or small joys that make a difference? Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for being here. Stay warm, stay kind to yourself, and remember, you're a warrior and you're never alone. And if we do not connect before the year is over, I'm wishing you a happy new year and looking forward to connecting with you more in the new year. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful festive season. Ciao for me for now.